From Lewis in the Black Horse Pub. Good morning again. I'm Keith Hayes. This is Mirador Television and Tgif. We've managed to survive, put ourselves together, and we look as if we're now going to forge ahead. However, just an alert, because next week is Easter week, and we will not be broadcasting next Good Friday or Easter Monday. We don't broadcast on holidays, not because we're lazy, not because we don't want to bring you a service, but the sort of service that the television demands on public holidays is quite different to the sort you deliver during the week. And we are not big enough to have the resources to completely alter our broadcasting for 2 days. So we need to bring you back into the tender clutches of the mainstreamers for those couple of days. But we will be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. So do join us then. Right, for the moment, we are going to actually take you back to our programs of just pre-lockdown and just down memory lane, just for half an hour or so until our next contributors come along. So here, go back remember those days pre-lockdown?
In the next few days, we are going to camp out in the Grange, in the south of the area of Lewis. The old man likes it here. He thinks he can just laze about and never do any work. Well, we'll see about that. Welcome to Mirador.
All this week we've been down in the Grange Park shooting various bits for Mirador Television. And while I'm here, I was thinking about the history of this town because I'm surrounded by it. And I thought, when I do a rant, why not do it here? Particularly if I'm aided by a little sip of champagne. It does loosen the tongue. But the topics are as serious as any serious topic can be. The first issue that I want to take up is that the computer people are getting out of hand with their damn passwords. Now, it's easy for me to say, or for you to say, he's an old curmudgeon, he's an old codger.
What does he know about passwords? But when I made an odd comment about passwords on my Facebook page, I got all sorts of reaction from people of all ages, all persuasions, all backgrounds, agreeing with me. Passwords are getting out of hand. I think they've sent the boys down to the basement and said, we don't know what to do with you during the pandemic. See what you can do to improve the situation. But of course, let computer people loose. And their improvements are to tamper with what is already working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It doesn't matter what I tap into on my phone, I suddenly get a demand for a password. And at the bottom it says, if you press and click, the password will come up for this particular page, and it never does. There is a red warning saying, this is an old password, you changed it. Well, I don't remember changing it, and I find it extremely inconvenient that I have to look for a password so that I can get into a page or a site that is mine, and some weirdo off in the middle of Google or wherever is asking me for a password. It has gone too far, chaps. Get your act together. I once spoke many years ago to an insurance company that had started to take bookings online. And I said to the man who actually started this, what will it take to make this a huge success? And he said, one-stop shop. You pick up the phone, direct line, and everything can be solved. You don't have to do anything else. Well, it's the same sort of thing. At one time, computers and the computing systems were easy to handle. It was a one-stop shop. You had your password, you entered it, you clicked, and away you went. Nowadays, God help me, everything flashes up every time you try to do that, and it makes it very uncomfortable trying hard to get the information, to the point where I have said, and I've sent emails, if you ask me for a passport one more time, then I am going to say to people, don't use this site, and I'm going to stop using it myself. So start to think, chaps. It may be that you're security conscious. It may be data protection and all the rest of this silly nonsense. But if you're pissing off the consumer, then you are in trouble, because we are the people that make you work. We are the people that pay for your service. Think twice. And sit down around a table and decide whether the consumer is more important or whether you want to add yet another layer of passwords. The commercial. Keith Hayes. Super.
Boiled or fried. I don't know who he thinks he's kidding. He only ever has oysters and champagne. But I have to work with him.
Break an Egg is going to be historic, and it's coming from the Grange Park in Lewes. Beautiful park. Why did she choose this? Because she said it's old.
You got that right. You said historic. You belong in the right place.
There we go. Never a moment's rest. Cha 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 cha.
I bet you were running around here when you were little, right? When this was built.
I was never little.
Well, were you not? Well, good point.
But this particular house is quite interesting. First of all, if you look at the outside, is the Newtons, who lived here for about 250 years, the family, non-stop, actually nicked all that cladding from the Priory when Henry VIII had it pulled down. So despite the fact that he was very Puritan, the Newton family were thieves. And isn't it often true that the very righteous are the first to break the law?
There's something to that,
Oh,
I guess.
yeah. You should know.
Me? You're the one who's not letting me look in your bags. God knows what you're hiding in there. Maybe a couple of stones or something?
Yeah, it's my bloody bank account that I'm worried about.
Not interested.
Yeah. Anyway, the interesting thing about the Newtons is that they were very anti-royalist, and this was the Cromwellian stronghold during the English Civil War. And the royalists set out from Arundel to try and take this particular house, because Newton was a leader in the local Lewis community, and Lewis in those days was the town. You took Lewis, you got East Sussex, and the royalists needed East Sussex. And they were accosted at Haywards Heath by a group of, I shouldn't say Cromwellians, but certainly Puritans, who formed a little army just not very far from here in Glynde. So this is historic in two ways. First, the royalists wanted to get it, and secondly, all that stone was nicked from the Priory.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're just terribly fascinated by this, aren't you?
Well, it's a rich man's story, isn't it?
Oh, have you got anything against being rich?
Well, certainly that's something I'm not.
Well, actually, later on, what we're going to do is, in the programme this morning, we're going to talk about charity. And good friend Leslie Hills, who's an artist, and you like her, Leslie, don't you?
Yes, she is indeed a lovely lady. Lovely lady. I would say, if you would like one of your photographs to be painted, get in touch with her. She's worth every penny. And she doesn't keep the profits, because it all goes to her charity, to her favourite charity, Cancer Research UK. Was that all right, boss?
Oh, you did that beautifully. You did that beautifully. Now, back to here, because later on, and as we came down here, you pointed out that there was a road here called Keir Street, down which the Prince Regent drove a coach and four. If in fact he'd had an accident, he'd broken his neck, and history would have been changed. Oh yes indeed. But one of the things about the Prince Regent was that he knew the Newtons very well here, and he would hop in through the back door. They gave him the key, and a lady, Fitzherbert, who supposedly was his mistress, and some say he secretly married, he would pop in through the back door and they would spend a dirty weekend here. I got the key.
Oh, exactly.
Oh dear. Oh, you upset the apple cart now.
No comment.
No, well actually, here you've got somebody who would be a royalist. There's the Puritan.
I like to say I am cultured.
Well, certainly, the other thing is that they were anti-royalists, and the last thing that happened in this part was, and I'm not sure where it is that our present Queen, Queen Elizabeth, just before she became Queen, when she was the Princess Royal, came here and planted a tree. And it's well documented, that. And I'm sure that the original Newtons would turn in their grave if they thought that the present families, well, it doesn't belong to the family anymore. At long last, their reign did end, and it now belongs to the local community. It belongs to the council. But they were violently anti-royalist sort of 300 years ago, and I'm sure that they would turn in their grave now if they knew that this house has got a lot to do with the royals.
Probably.
Yeah, you'd like to live there, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Do you know which tree is it?
I don't, but I'll tell you what. If we've got any time before lunch, we'll go and have a hoke around and see whether we can find it. Because I'm sure there'll be a plaque on it.
Hold on, that means I have to walk. Is it very far away?
and you have a go at me.
These high heels are for standing, not for walking.
And she has the cheek to call me old.
I didn't say it's because I'm old. There's a difference.
Yes. Now, this week is the first week of our new schedule for Mirador Television, and each day we hope that we can bring you just a little bit of history, a little bit of chat, a little bit of something that you didn't know, but also, hopefully, that we can make you giggle. And I'm a terribly serious person. The giggler is over there. Hey, see, yeah, there's it.
Oh, apologies. Just some tickle.
Anyway, oysters and champagne have got to be on the menu sometime. Can we go and have them for lunch?
You haven't earned them yet.
What do you mean earned them?
You've done nothing for him yet.
What do you mean I've done nothing?
Nothing.
I went to the office, didn't I?
Oh, okay then. Thank you so much for turning up for work.
Oh, you're a hard taskmaster. When I got into this business, they told me that it was nice and relaxed, and all I had to do was drink oysters and champagne for my entire life.
I don't know who taught you that.
Anyway, we hope that we've got an exciting lineup for you. Annie will host a couple of programs throughout the day. I host a couple, but also some of your favourites. Stephen Catlin will be here to try and keep the local council on the straight and narrow, and we will hear from our new added value, I think, Jake, who is going to find out who gets up first thing in the morning to make breakfast. So here's a newcomer for you, Jake, who actually at the moment is on the other side of the camera, but he'll be on this side when he goes around town and find out who's awake at 7 o'clock in the morning, which certainly isn't you.
Yes, it is actually.
I can't believe it.
Oh, well, you don't have to.
What are you doing up at 7 o'clock in the morning?
I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, actually. This doesn't just happen.
It only takes me 5 minutes to put on my lipstick.
No surprise there.
Anyway, we hope that each day we'll bring you a little bit of something so that you say, I didn't know that. And also, because of this dreadful lockdown, and we know how much that's affected people, that we can give you a bit of a giggle. I mean, I'm the serious one, she's the giggler. But keep an eye on Annie throughout the day. And I hope that when she giggles, you'll giggle with her.
Let's hope so.
Shall we sort of go and look for that tree? And then we can come back tomorrow and we can take another look at a different part of this park.
Slight modification. Could you please go and look for the tree and tell me where it is, and then I will walk to it.
She calls me old. All right, we'll see you later. Thanks for being with us today. Toodle pip.
Bye-bye. Wonder what the council has been up to. Here's Stephen Catlin.
Did you know that when we pay for council tax, the price includes special expenses? What are they? Stephen Catlin will explain. However, during the lockdown, there were certain jobs that were supposed to be done by the contractors employed by the council. When Stephen asked the council about the jobs that were not done and why they were not done, the response was because of an act of God. We were shown some correspondence between Stephen and the council. Slightly confusing. One paragraph says the work was not done because of an act of God, the pandemic. And the next paragraph says the job not only it was done, but the contractor also had special and extra expenses. Which one is it? You can't have it both ways. You will try though, won't you? Was it an act of God when you look into people's bank accounts if they don't pay their council tax? Because apparently, that's your right to do so. Some more information would be nice, Council. And clearer information too. Just listen to what Stephen Catlin has to say now.
Here we are in Malling, part of Lewes. You've seen Malling Recreation Ground, where the council special expenses are being properly applied. Let me just explain briefly. Special expenses are levied by Lewes District Council on every council taxpayer in Lewes for the maintenance of open spaces. They have now got cracking, but it wasn't done in March, April, May or June, although we were still expected to pay in our council tax. What they haven't yet managed to do is this bit, by the river. So it's not quite as an attractive walk as it might be, although of course they may excuse their neglect by saying this is to maintain wildlife. But even so, the dead grass needs, excuse me, let me see who this is. I've got to take this. This bit had not been cut back. It does need to be done at some point to tidy up the dead grass. But we'll see. The whole point is that we pay every month in our council tax for this groundwork to be done. It was not done in March, April, May or June. And in one piece of land, a churchyard in the care of the district council, the town council actually had to pay to bring someone in to do it because it was in too bad a state. District are saying the contractor is catching up, but nevertheless we have paid for work that has not been done. I mean, even if the grass was 2 foot high, once it's cut, it's cut. It just hasn't been done when it should have been. And I pay on my council tax about £387 per annum. That is the second lowest. Band A will pay less, bands C, D and D will pay more. I don't see the difference between this work that has not been done, yet being charged for one, and a rogue roofer charging someone for not re-roofing their house. That becomes a criminal offence. So I really would like to know how District Council justify this, and it would be good to have a more public answer. Next, if you can bear holding your breath until we get there, will be the matter of redundancies at Lewes District Council. That's whetted your appetite. See you soon.
Who am I? Well, I'm Sarah Thomas. I am an influencer and I own a vintage shop in Brighton called Waste Vintage. It's on Gardner Street. I've always been very happy with Lydia's groom. I cannot recommend her enough. We've come back every time, and every time he looks amazing. He just comes back all soft and fluffy. Lydia's the best groomer we've ever had in Brighton. She always listens to what we want. She doesn't take it too short, and Stan always loves his groom. Yes, I'm planning on coming to the new shop. I'm really excited to see what she does. We have her been groomed in a few different places in Brighton, but Lydia's the one that we found that we absolutely love, and we'll always go back to her now. Just the customer service. Like, Lydia's just the best in Brighton. She's so friendly and lovely. She gets it right every time. She always listens to what we want, and Stanley's always a very happy boy when he comes back. Oh, I absolutely love the smell of Stanley when he comes home. He smells great, and it always lasts as well. She used some really amazing shampoo because it just smells great for ages afterwards. So I think the prices are completely fair. He gets a really thorough groom, and she always goes above and beyond to make sure he looks amazing. Oh, Stanley loves Lydia's dog Peaches. They always play together. It's really sweet to see. Thank you. And Stanley says thank you as well. Stanley loves his groom.
When you've missed the train, don't despair. Have a nice cup of coffee. And perhaps a mince pie at the Runaway on Lewes Station. After that, why worry about the next train? The Runaway on Lewes Station. Relaxation beyond compare.
The charities have lost a lot of money during lockdown, but one lady who isn't giving up the fight is Leslie Hills. With every stroke of her artist brush, she brings in a shilling or two for Cancer Research UK, along with all the heroes she paints.
Behind me you can see the Cancer Research shop windows, but they are unusually empty. Any other year you would be seeing Leslie Hills painting right here. She is painting the people of Lewis. They are many recognisable faces. Today we're speaking to one of these people behind the paintings, Grace Gasson, who has opened her own independent funeral directories in Ringmer.
Well, Leslie approached me when she was doing the portrait. She was talking about familiar faces in the town, and unfortunately I have one of those. It's not often wanted, but it's needed from time to time, so yeah, I was classed as a familiar face and recognisable, and she asked if she could take a photograph and then paint from the photograph, which is what she did. Leslie painted me when I worked for Cooper & Son in Lewis, and yeah, the picture hung on the wall there, so when I left Cooper's, her portrait of me came with me. So it felt right, rather than leaving it there for others to look at, for it to come here. So yes, it now hangs on my wall here. In February, March time, the area was quite badly affected by COVID. Unfortunately, people who were very vulnerable, so older people, care homes, found that journey quite difficult, and unfortunately some weren't able to fight it. So yes, that time has been quite difficult, especially with the restrictions that have been involved as well. So yeah, it's not been a great year. I'll be pleased to see the end of this one. Just trying to make things a bit easier. You never make it better, but to try and support somebody and make them feel that they've had the opportunity to do things the way that they would like to, and it's a true reflection of the person that we're all caring for. That's the most important thing to me. When I was 16, I wanted to do forensic science, and I was offered the opportunity to do work experience in year 9 at school, and my parents suggested that I went to work or have some experience with the local funeral directors, which I did in Cooper & Son in Uckfield, and something just clicked in the week that I was there. I don't really understand it. I wouldn't really say it was a calling. It wasn't religious, but it's certainly something clicked, and I felt that's what I wanted to do. So I left school at 16 and started with them then. This was something I've always wanted to do, to have my own business, and the timing was just right. So I came out to Ringmer. I wanted to stay in Lewis, but it's very difficult shop sizes, and it's very quirky and very beautiful, but not very practical from my side of things. So Ringmer's a little bit quieter, a little less imposing, and a bit more private for people, so I came out here. Very supportive family is quite key for me. It's especially in this role. It's a bit like being a doctor or a vicar or something. You have to have a good family behind you to support you when this is quite a vocation. It's 24 hours, so I'm on call 365 days a year in the evening if somebody passes away. So I was actually on maternity leave when I started business planning, and decided that I was unfortunately going to make a move from the company I was with. And most of what you see in here is either from my own home, Gumtree, anywhere, charity shop, flea market, which we have oodles of in Lewis, and all put together, so I had to be quite mindful. It's my kind of style anyway. I'm quite an eclectic person, so it's all come from all over the place. I opened the office with no staff, just myself, so I did everything other than driving the vehicles and obviously needing gentlemen to help me on the actual day of the funeral. I ran the office. I had to use an answer phone system to look after the phones while I was out with the family conducting funerals, and then I'd come back and pick all the answer phone messages up. And then after about 3 months, I realised that actually I was very grateful. A lot of families I'd cared for before came to find me here, and I was able to have a member of staff. So after 3 months, I employed my colleague, and she's been with me since then. So yeah, it's a bit of a rocky road to begin with, lots of risk taking and chances, and a lot of effort, a lot of energy. My husband painted everything. A friend of ours did put all the sub wall up and made it feel the way it is. So it's a lot of hard work, but we literally built it sort of from the ground up. So yeah, a lot of love's gone into it. I think it's just because then I had the opportunity to look at everything, every element within the business. So from the stationery that I send my letters on, which are obviously quite important, quite special letters. People tend to keep the letters that I send, and they're not the sort of throwaway documents. So I could look at all of how my logo was and how I presented my office to make it feel more homely. I could choose what colour went on the wall and which sofas I had in the office. So all of those things to me are really important when you're caring for families, that they feel comfortable and they feel welcome. Oh, I have no idea what my normal day is going to be. So sometimes I'll have appointments planned in the diary of families that I'm going to meet with, but that can change within a heartbeat. So I can go out and look for probably a wrong sense of word there actually. Heartbeat might not be the right word. It can change. So I'll go out onto a funeral, and then by the time I come back, I might have another appointment that's been booked in while I've been out. So I'll go out on funerals, I'll go to local churchyards and care for people's ashes, burying people's ashes. All sorts. I can be going to deliver paperwork, going to pick up, well now my role's completely different because I do the business side too, so all the invoicing and all of those sorts of things, so looking at my website, all sorts. So it's quite a varied day. The days go quickly. You know, there's lots of people that are involved in what I do. They're not always seen, or they might be only seen for a few minutes, but they're just as important, and they make the whole structure and make it all work.
The old man thinks if he has to wake up early morning, everyone else should. So who are the people keeping him company?
So, who are you and what do you do?
My name's Carmen and I'm a healthcare assistant.
Amazing. And what does that consist of?
So I work. Do I say where I work, like the hospital?
Yeah.
So I work for Royal Sussex County Hospital on different wards, healthcare assisting. So I look after the patients alongside the nurses.
Perfect. And do you get up early in the morning?
Yes, I have to get up about 5:30 in the morning to get to work.
Do you like getting up at half five in the morning?
I don't know if there is anybody in the world that likes getting up early in the morning. I personally used to really struggle with getting up in the morning, and now it's a lot better now that I've got used to it. I wouldn't say I like it. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. I prefer not getting up early.
Yeah. Is there something that you would miss if you didn't get up early in the morning, like the people, or?
It's not. It's always a lot more chilled in the morning. I walk to work, and yeah, it's a lot more calmer than I on the way home, for example. And it's nice watching the sun come up as well.
That's true. That's a good answer, actually. And what kind of people do you see out and about at 5:30, 6 in the morning?
Because I think I'm on the way to the hospital, I see a lot of other medical professionals. I see bin men every now and again. I think you just only see people that go to work, and a lot of runners as well. No, actually, I wouldn't say a lot of runners. Some runners you see as well that early in the morning, more so than in the middle of the day.
True. Yeah, I guess it's quieter, isn't it? You know, and that's I wish I could get up early in the morning, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because I'm lazy.
That's fair enough. I used to be like that. The only reason I get up in the mornings is work. Like if I didn't have to go to work, I wouldn't be getting up at 5:30. There's no way.
True.
Yeah.
So because you're up at 5:30 in the morning, what time do you have to go to bed?
See, I should go to bed at around 10 o'clock to get a decent night's sleep, but then again that doesn't really happen that often. I aim for 10, but normally it's about I aim for 10, normally it's about 11 or 12, so I'm actually asleep.
Wow. And does that not make you really tired?
If I've got a 13-hour shift and I only have a few hours sleep, then it is definitely a tougher day than if I get a decent. That's why I try to go to bed as early as possible, because getting up at 5:30 means less sleep, which means grumpy Carmen.
Yeah, I hear that.
Do you look forward to your days off when you don't need to get up for work at 5:30 in the morning?
I wouldn't say that I look forward. I mean, I really like going to work, so I don't mind waking up at 5:30. I really love my job, and I mean, I guess if I wake up at 5:30 and go to work, I feel like a really good person, like I'm doing well in life. Whereas if I don't go to work and don't set alarms and accidentally wake up at 10:30, I feel like a failure. So I don't mind waking up at 5:30, but a lion is always welcomed, I guess.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that tomorrow when you wake up after 5:30 is a better day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for asking me lots of questions and being interested in what I do. I'm looking forward to getting up at 5:30 tomorrow.
Good, amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Who am I? Well, I'm Sarah Thomas. I am an influencer and I own a vintage shop in Brighton called Waste Vintage. It's on Gardner Street. I've always been very happy with Lydia's groom. I cannot recommend her enough. We've come back every time, and every time he looks amazing. He just comes back all soft and fluffy. Lydia's the best groomer we've ever had in Brighton. She always listens to what we want. She doesn't take it too short, and Stan always loves his groom. Yes, I'm planning on coming to the new shop. I'm really excited to see what she does. We have her in groomed in a few different places in Brighton, but Lydia's the one that we found that we absolutely love, and we'll always go back to her now. Just the customer service. Like, Lydia's just the best in Brighton. She's so friendly and lovely. She gets it right every time. She always listens to what we want, and Stanley's always a very happy boy when he comes back. Oh, I absolutely love the smell of Stanley when he comes home. He smells great, and it always lasts as well. She used some like really amazing shampoo because it just smells great for ages afterwards. So I think the prices are completely fair. He gets a really thorough groom, and she always goes above and beyond to make sure he looks amazing. Oh, Stanley loves Lydia's dog Peaches. They always play together. It's really sweet to see. Thank you. And Stanley says thank you as well. Stanley loves his groom.
Thunder and lightning? No, it's not Superman on the trail again, but a good dose of stormy weather coming up.
Hi there, this is the week's weather. For the working week, I'm afraid the temperatures will stay mild and around 16 degrees as they have the past few days. It will also continue to be mostly overcast, and there are showers expected on Monday, Tuesday evening and throughout all of Thursday. Overall, Thursday seems like a pretty bad day to be out and about. Be careful not to get blown away by winds as they reach 26 kilometers an hour wind speed from west-southwest. At least it's starting to feel like autumn, and luckily we know someone who loves autumn. Over to Claudine with her piece on autumn.
Since I was a teenager, I've always loved autumn, and as I grow older I still love autumn, and when I go out I just am captured by all the colours that come up, the reds and the yellows, and then if you look down you have gorgeous leaves, dead leaves that are crunchy and you just kick through them. So even when I'm my age at 39, I can act like a child and just kick through the leaves. What I find fascinating about autumn are the little treats you get. You get acorns and conkers, and they're hanging from trees looking pretty, or they're on the floor and you just want to collect them and put them in a bowl. And that's one of the things you can do in autumn. You can just collect all the things that you find pretty, like the gorgeous leaves, the red leaves, such as this. Those kind of brown. And get your acorns. Hang on. Acorn. And your conkers, and put them in a nice centerpiece bowl on your table. And it, to me, represents the change of season, obviously, but that we're going from, I think, an unpleasant summer. As I get older, summers are too warm, and autumn is just the right temperature where you can relax a little bit and take your time, read a book and cozy up at home. And then when you want to go out, you can enjoy all the colours that are around.
I have to look after the old man as if he was a child. In fact, he is a child, especially when he's playing with his model trains. Well, we've had our fun now. I wonder what the news headline is this hour.
Okay, enough of that. Are we done? I've got to get ready for the drinks programme.
Ah, is that what you call it? Drinks program, is it?
Well, of course it's all about drinks. Oh, you know very well that one thing I like is a little tipple.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When can I have it?
Not right now.
Why?
You haven't delivered anything I've asked you to deliver yet today, and it's only midday. Or shall I say, already midday?
Oh, you're a bloody slave driver. Do you know that?
That's why you hired me.
I did? The mistakes that a man can make in his life. I hired her.
Oh well. Too late to go back now.
It's always too late. Better say goodbye to the folks. Toodle pip.
Goodbye.
Well, that was the most exhausting hour I put in. What time do the pubs open?
They are closed, you know. It's locked down. You spend too much time in there anyway.
No pubs.
I wish they did anyway.
I've been like Rip Van Winkle. I've been away. No pubs.
That's all I hear from you. When does the pub open? When does the pub open?
All right, we'll go for breakfast then, and I'll have brandy with my coffee.
Not before work, you won't. Brandy with your coffee.
Here it goes again. Nag, 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 nag. And then they wonder why I've lost my hair and I'm going grey.
You're just a weirdo. That's my answer to everything.
I think it's time for us to quit and say goodbye.
Speak properly, will you? Anyway, goodbye.
Oh, there you are. It's amazing how much of that is as pertinent today as it was almost 4 years ago now. Lest we forget what lockdown was like. It's pretty traumatic for us all. And we're going to join Melissa in about 15 minutes, I think. So perhaps what we will do is take a short break and come back in a few minutes' time. Okay, just for the moment then is Toodle-pip. Let's do our thing for this hour. The pub quiz every second Sunday in the month. So the next one for April is about 3 weeks away. And Sunday lunch every Sunday starting at 12:30. Really good Sunday lunch. Very healthy. Very tasty. Certainly not stint on size. I have to order the children's portion just simply to get it down. It's a good place for food, drink, leisure, and they've got the sports screens. They've got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sports screens, so you can watch almost anything that you want. All right, see you in 10 minutes or so. Just let's remind you where we're broadcasting from. From Lewis, in the Black Horse Pub.